Here's my 1948 Halsey Taylor drinking fountain. I believe it's the 4901 model, but I could be wrong. Pretty fresh out of an old school. It even still has all the dried up gum on the bottom. This is a pretty rare fountain. I've only seen one other in my life, and only one other on YouTube. So I believe this will only be the third one on YouTube. The reason I've had it for a while, the reason I haven't filmed it yet is because drinking fountains are so difficult to hook up. Let me just show you all what I did, and hopefully you can appreciate it. I got my garden hose here. It's pretty basic. It then branches off, and then I got it hooked up to one of these sprinkler things, which then is fed into a sink handle, which then runs up into the faucet. And from here, I've got a sink supply line, which runs to the sink handle, up through here, to the fountain pressure control valve, through the handle, and finally to the head. It's pretty ridiculous. And this is not original to this fountain, but it is period correct. I've got a whole bunch of old Halsey Taylor hardware, and I kind of cobbled this together for the video. This is one of the replacement faucets that it came from. I believe it's an old central faucet. The surface is so screwed up here, it could almost cut you. It's so sharp. And this was the other faucet that I got with it. There's the Haas logo. And I believe these came out in the 60s, so it could have been replaced, I would guess, sometime between then and the 90s maybe. It's hard to date those things. We've got an original strainer. I actually discovered something interesting about these. So that this first little piece of the strainer actually pulls right off. The one that I got from my school just looks like that, and I thought that that's how they came, and you could maybe option this piece with it. It turns out they all come with this, and it just pops off, so after years of service, it's no surprise that that might go missing. Here it is on. Pretty basic. See these style everywhere. That is an original Halsey Taylor handle. You can see the Taylor name there. And then see that dual action jet. Now this one does hit the mouth guard a little bit. They're not quite supposed to do that, but see it still comes up into that nice arch. Something interesting to note about these is that they actually had a couple different styles back then. I've got two of them here. These are both from the same era. As we can see, this one, the mouth guard on this one's a little bigger. This one came off of one of those weird little cloud-shaped fountains that I have. Now, for some reason, I've only ever seen this style on the double fountains. There was maybe one exception, I saw the bigger style, but for the most part, this style was used on the double fountains, and these ones were used on the single-user fountains. Every Halsey Taylor single-user fountain that I've seen has one of these wider mouth guards on it, and I'm not quite sure why they did that. Just kind of something interesting to note. I've got one of the narrow ones on this fountain. Show you all the backside of it real quick. Now, I thought this was really cool. You can still see some of the original measurements drawn on with a pencil from when this was installed. It's very cool. Some dude back in the 40s wrote all that, and it's still there. Not quite sure if we can get under here, but yeah, you can just barely see the Halsey Taylor name and the date stamp of 1948. Yeah, April 1948. And this was actually before they started putting the little metal tag on the side. So the other one of these that I saw was the exact same fountain, but has the little metal nameplate. I think sometime in the 50s they would have started doing that, but before then, you could actually look underneath and find a date stamp. And for some reason, they stopped putting date stamps on them in the 50s too, which is really annoying, because it makes them damn near impossible to date. Unfortunately, it does have a big old crack in it there, but I think I'm still going to restore this and kind of just ignore that. I like it. I'm not sure why it's not working now. That side's still good. Oh, there we go. That's a little much. The last fountain in my school that had one of these, that's about where it was set, and it splashed everywhere. There's one more look. That dual jet. Still a very cool design in my opinion. Anyways, hope y'all enjoy. Someday I hope to restore and install this thing.